My name is Anna. I am 29 years old, and I live in a small, quiet house with my husband Daniel. We have been married for 10 years. I do not work outside the home. Every morning, I wake up early, clean the rooms, wash the dishes, cook the meals, and wait for Daniel to come back from work. From the outside, our life looks calm and peaceful. But inside our house, there is a deep and heavy silence. We do not have children. I have wanted a baby for many years, but Daniel always said, "Not now, maybe later." In the beginning, I believed him. I thought he was simply waiting for the right time, but the years passed and nothing changed. Eventually, I stopped asking because I was afraid of hearing the same answer again. During the last year, Daniel began to change. He started traveling more often for work. Sometimes he stayed away for days, even weeks. When he returned, he looked tired and distant. His body was at home, but his mind seemed far away. When I asked about his trips, he answered with only one or two words. He spent more time looking at his phone than looking at me. At night, he turned his back toward me in bed. The space between us felt cold and wide. Many nights, I lay awake staring at the ceiling, wondering what had happened to our marriage. When Daniel was gone, the house felt too quiet. I had no close friends in this town, and my family lived far away. The only person I spoke to regularly was Ethan, the bread delivery man. He came every morning before the sun fully rose and left fresh bread by the door. Sometimes I opened the door before he walked away. He always smiled kindly and said, "Good morning." At first, we talked about simple things like the weather. Slowly, our conversations became longer. He asked how I was feeling, and he truly listened to my answers. That simple act of listening made me feel less invisible. On some mornings, when Daniel was away, I invited Ethan inside for tea. We sat at the kitchen table and talked quietly. I told him I felt lonely in my own home. I told him I felt like I was waiting for a life that never truly began. Ethan never judged me. He never said anything inappropriate. There was no physical relationship between us, only a gentle closeness that reminded me I was still human. One afternoon, Daniel returned from a trip looking upset. He dropped his bag near the door and said his clothes were dirty. I carried them to the laundry room. As I sorted through his shirts, I noticed a red lipstick mark on the collar of a white shirt. It was not my shade. I stared at it for a long time. My heart pounded loudly in my chest. I wanted to confront him, but fear kept me silent. That night, he slept with his back turned toward me again. I felt like a stranger lying beside my own husband. A few days later, Daniel left for another trip. He did not tell me where he was going. One evening, my phone rang from an unknown number. A calm voice told me there had been a serious accident on the highway. Daniel was in the car, and there was another woman with him. They both died. I felt as if the ground disappeared beneath my feet. The world became heavy and painfully quiet. After the funeral, my body began to feel weak and strange. I felt sick every morning. I could not eat properly, and even simple smells made me dizzy. Ethan noticed my pale face and worried eyes. He brought soup and fruit, and gently suggested I see a doctor. One morning, I almost fainted in the kitchen. That frightened me enough to visit the clinic alone. After examining me, the doctor sat down and spoke softly. "You are pregnant," he said. At first, I could not understand his words. I asked him to repeat them. When I realized it was true, tears filled my eyes. I walked home slowly, holding my stomach with trembling hands. I cried because I had wanted this child for so many years. I cried because Daniel had refused me while he was alive. I cried because he had betrayed me, yet he had left me this final gift. When I told Ethan, he listened quietly. He said he wanted to support me and the baby. His eyes were kind and sincere. I thanked him, but I told him I could not replace my husband, even after everything that had happened. I did not want my child to grow up confused about who his father was. Ethan understood. He promised to remain only a friend. From that day on, he helped me with respect and care. He walked with me to doctor visits and carried groceries when I felt tired. He never crossed the boundaries I set. As the weeks passed, my stomach slowly grew, and something inside me changed. The house was still small, but it no longer felt empty. For the first time in years, I did not feel alone. I learned that trust can break and love can fail. But even after deep loss, life can begin again with quiet hope and new strength.